You are listening to CMH EPC's Mocktail Hour Podcast. We host a Mocktail Hour once a month where we discuss various topics over cocktails. And for those who don't drink alcohol, mocktails. We are inclusive over here. Sip your favorite cocktail with us or try our featured cocktail as we dialogue. This is an environment to hear new and different perspectives. Everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions are valid to them, and in this space, we respect that. Oh, hi, welcome. I would like to take a moment of appreciation for our guests today who have attended our monthly cocktail hour and are now here to share their thoughts and opinions with us. We have a number of topics to discuss. You never know what new perspectives you may hear today. We have Twin is a manager of operations for one of the largest Fortune 500 transportation and logistics companies. She is the only Black female manager of operations for her company in both the central and southern regions. Twin was born near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She's a diehard Steelers fan, black and yellow.
Black and yellow.
And has now lived in Houston for 24 years. She graduated from the University of Houston with her bachelor's degree and later received her MBA in project management. We have Wes here, who is an educator and a coach, doing all the fun things here in Houston, also a Houston native. Mm-hmm. We have V is a recreational supervisor and a certified personal trainer, an alumnus of Mississippi Valley State University with a Bachelor of Science and a Master's in Sports Science from Jackson State University. Originally from Illinois, currently residing in Beaumont, Texas. Thank you guys for being here today. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sorry, I did not know you was going to do like college.
It's what I said. It's whatever.
Okay.
Whatever, how you want the people to know who you are. Is
go
up to
Tigers. I'm a LSU alumna.
Oh, no.
So I just have to throw that in there.
We got a rivalry happening.
I'm an Alabama fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll talk after the show.
Nah, probably not.
Oh gosh, our featured cocktail today is a peach margarita. In a peach margarita, you can do tequila, sweet and sour, and some peach schnapps, and that's what we're sipping on today. So we're gonna get into our topics. If you had to move to a new city, where would you move?
Ooh.
Now, I love my city, so there's so much here.
I love my city too, but I do love Cali. I love going to Cali.
Cali weather.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What part of Cali, though?
I like Southern California.
Okay.
North California is cool, but they, get cold and all that. But I do love Southern California. LA, not much because of the traffic and stuff. But I like what's in between. It's really nice. It's really laid back.
It doesn't rain.
I can say if I did not live in Houston, I really feel I would live in Atlanta.
Atlanta is a vibe.
Atlanta's cool.
Listen,
it's one of my favorite cities.
I went to Atlanta last summer, and listen, I felt I was at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think I was going to enjoy living there as much as I did. So that's probably where I would go back to. I would go back to Atlanta. It was always something going on. Like
always something
whatever
going on.
interest that you have, you can find something to do. So,
I mean, it reminded me so much of Houston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But with longer club hours.
Listen, Linda.
And
that's what I miss. Hey, listen, I done walked out at 5:00 before.
I went there strictly for work. I was strictly there for work only. The end.
But at my age though, I'm not don't really care about the longer hours. I'd rather go to happy hour and then be home by 12.
But it's so many happy hours. There's so many different vibes you can catch there. Like whatever you want to do, if you want to do it early, if you want to do it late, you can always find somewhere that's not going to be super packed. And so you get that intimate feel. So I approve that.
Strip clubs have nothing on Houston.
I mean, obviously.
I've never been to a strip club ever.
Oh,
Never?
Never.
Listen,
Nope.
I don't even like strip clubs like that.
Yeah, I
don't either.
don't think I like it. Like,
But in Atlanta,
I don't know.
let's just say I threw once.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Quite a few.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like they be doing like aerobatics in there, like acrobatics.
Listen, they were anything you can think of, they were doing.
It was like it was a show.
I appreciated it. Thank you, Atlanta. Thank you.
Where did you go?
I don't even know.
Was it like out in the country? Because Blue Flame is kind of far.
No, so
If it was like in downtown,
I went out. So
it's probably like King of Diamonds.
this is the work-life balance, right? So I went out there to help an account out there, and these young whippersnappers was like, "Hey, Ty, we're going to the strip club." I was like, "Bet, let's go." I don't even know where I went.
Okay.
All I know,
It was a time.
it was a time.
You had a time that night. You had a
I
time.
had a time that night.
Was not disappointed.
I was not disappointed, and I don't even know. Next question. Let's just go to the next question. I'm not.
Went to that moment. It was just like, give me a moment.
Flashback.
No.
Okay, Kayla. Oh gosh. I don't know that I would have. I mean, the only city I can think of that I might actually want to live, I would say, is Austin. But that's like right up the street, so I would probably just stay in Houston, honestly. Unless it was a different country, maybe. I don't know. If you could anonymously and safely destroy any one person's reputation online through various postings, would you?
No,
Exactly.
it's not worth it.
Karma is real.
Karma is. Listen,
Karma
got time for
real
that.
and on time, too.
I mean,
On time.
what? You think everything going good and the top just blow off? Oh, no.
What's happening?
Not at all.
People who impress you with what they have versus trying to impress you with who they are. It's a topic, it's not really a question.
Like, how do we feel about that?
Yeah, like, or is it, what's our preference? What? I
Yeah,
mean,
how do you feel about people who talk about all the things they have and all the things? I feel like that's just because they don't know who they are as a person themselves, so they try to get their attention or acceptance through what society says is a trend. Like those big red boots right now. Somebody asked me yesterday, they was like, would you wear those? And I was like, no.
No.
Why would I wear those Mario boots?
I don't even wear Crocs. Some things are ugly.
I mean,
no.
Crocs are comfortable.
Well, I wear around the house. But I ain't wearing it outside.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
listen,
I wear them around the
house.
house. They're comfortable. I'm not wearing it outside.
The bonnet stays in the house.
Oh,
the
the
Crocs stay in
comfortable
the
one. Did
house.
you get a
Yeah, the Crocs stay in the house.
yeah,
Like a
listen.
bonnet.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
Crocs
I get a
and the bonnets stay in the house.
I'll get a pair this week.
I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
going outside with that.
No.
Sorry,
It's
all the
gonna
Croc
change your
people.
life.
I
I'm
didn't-
telling you.
Listen.
You wear
I
Crocs?
don't think I care. I don't even care that much. Like, shoes in general. I have like a couple pair of shoes that stay and rotate. But my clothes, listen, can't match it. But going back to your question, sorry. So people who speak on what they have instead of who they are, that's just, I mean, I feel like that's like a self-esteem type of situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I live fine, but I'm not going to show my wealth. Like, I'm not going to do that. I feel like if you're gonna accept me for me, accept me for me. So anyone who shows other, like, that's why I don't people. I don't people like that, right? So I like someone who's genuine, and when I can tell you're genuine, then we can people. But other than that, I'm gonna listen to you because I feel like everybody wants to tell me their life story, their life history. Whatever face I have, I just feel like everybody wants to tell me their story.
You're a great listener.
So you open.
I'm a great listener because I'm an introvert, so I'm a great listener by nature. But if you start speaking of, well, I have a Bentley and I got this Gucci, like I know the store manager. Like, I don't care about that.
Right.
It doesn't impress me.
Right.
What impresses me is your character. You know, if you like to, if you're a philanthropist, like those kind of things, that impresses me. Not what you can buy. Like,
Right.
anyone can buy anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I agree. It's like people who put an emphasis on what they have is because they don't know who they are and they don't have much to offer. So it's like, just be yourself. You don't have to do all that.
Right.
You know, because if you have to do all that, that means you have to keep that up.
Yeah.
And the person that you attract is going to expect you to be that person that you put out there. You know, so you just be genuine, be yourself. I don't care.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be attached to things.
Right.
You know?
shouldn't.
Right.
I agree.
Very detached to us. And things don't, you know, your character sticks, but the things outside of yourself, those will go away.
Ever got the job you wanted and then was ready to quit soon after?
Oh, Jesus. Yes, God.
Yep.
Yes, Lord.
I thought I had my dream job. Can I expound on that?
So what happened? She's like, how do I
I'm like,
say
okay,
this?
what happened?
So, you know how the job can be fine, but the people can make the job horrible. I had that experience. So when I first became a supervisor, I became a supervisor at a place that was very chaotic. There was no accountability, and I'm the type of person where if my name is on something, I'm gonna make sure that it's correct. So in that came just, I mean, it was nuts. Like I said, I love Atlanta, but like I had to get out of there. Like, yeah, it was a lot. Oof, it was a lot. But the job itself was fine. It was just
The people.
yeah, the people. Like people who love chaos, they don't like accountability. So
There's always the factors you have no control over that just ruin it for you.
yep,
I hate that.
yep,
That's why I switched some schools. I was like, I don't like y'all. I'm transferring.
yeah. But it made me stronger. I feel like it helped me develop a lot of character and realize that I could deal with a lot more stuff than I gave myself credit for. So it was a learning experience. I'm thankful for it now, but it's still some people I want to throat punch. So, yeah.
Come on, growth. Yeah, I definitely got the job that I wanted, and I was super excited about it. And then, like, after 3 months, I was like, I'm out of here. I can't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody's cocktails refreshed?
Everyone's cocktail is refreshed.
But yeah, I think that's the worst. It's kind of like meeting your hero, right? Where you're like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. And then you get in there and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Or you meet that person and they're an asshole and you're like, oh my gosh, like you just completely destroyed my ideology of you.
Until you become the hero.
Oh, okay.
Your
I
own
like
hero.
that.
Yes,
I like
be your
that.
own
I like
hero.
that.
Listen.
Yeah.
Like
I
you
like
have
that.
Be
to
the hero
become,
that you
you have to be your
anticipated.
own hero.
Ty, you
And-
preaching today, ain't you? Man.
But so I mean, in my field, it's male dominated, right? There's not too many females in the position that I'm in, and then I'm black and I'm lesbian, so there's always that stigma, right? Not necessarily a stigma, but it's always like something that you have to overcome. And I've always had to work harder than my male counterparts. I've always had to stand out, right? But in that, you also find yourself. You find what you can take, what you can't take, what you're going to deal with, what you're not going to deal with, what customers you're going to allow to say whatever. Because I'm the type. Listen, if I'm ever going to lose my job, and I've never been afraid to speak up for myself. So if I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose it because I spoke and said what needed to be said. Thankfully, it has not hurt my career. On the back end, it's always like, well, I'm not a hothead, but I'm also not going to play nice, right? I'm not going to fit the customer's need. I'm not going to say what I need to say to get the next bid. That's not who I am. I'm going to tell you to it straight because I have to take it, right? I have to take exactly what you're giving to me and not be able to say, well, that doesn't sound right, you know? So, yeah, I'm going to be myself, my authentic self, unapologetically all the time
As
and
he
give
should
two
be.
shits.
I think a lot of people respect that. People are often scared to do that, but it's more often that you get, in my experience, you get further when you're authentically yourself because people know what they get. If you are flip-floppy, people are always cautious of you. Now, you might start getting stuff on the front end, but when it's time for you to actually get the things that you feel like you put in work in, if you wish-washy or flip-floppy, people are cautious of you and you may not get what you actually feel like you deserve because you never were one way and never were yourself and never showed yourself to be true. So sometimes I think that can hurt you in the long run. So
All my employees
I'm
call me
just
Miss
me.
Ty.
Yeah.
They all call me Miss Ty because, one, and I've always, since I was a young whippersnapper, I've always been taught this. When you meet anyone, you are working with anyone, you treat them as an equal.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if I have a title, you don't have a title. If, say, your choice of work was cleaning the restrooms, cleaning the floors, your choice of work was working in a warehouse, it doesn't matter to me, because at the same token, if we don't all work together as a unit, nothing's going to get done. So why does my title mean anything less than yours?
Yeah.
We both have an obligation, right? At the end of the day, I have a job to pay my bills. You have a job to pay your bills. If that suits you, that's what you want, it has no difference between me. My accolades, my degrees has nothing to do with my name is Ty. And your name is Brenda. Your name is Marcus.
Right.
Your name is Demetrius. It has no bearings to me, because I'm going to treat you as I would like to be treated.
Yeah.
And that's why I have the respect of all my male counterparts. And it also leads into those questions, because they think, oh, we're best friends now.
Right.
Let me ask you these
No.
questions that I shouldn't be asking.
Right.
So it's like a give and take.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I mean, that's just like the team mentality, right? If you work anywhere, you're part of a team. So
Yeah.
if everybody do their part, then you succeed as a team. Versus the people who want to pretend like they're working,
Man.
make it harder for everybody else.
Right. Like in sports, everybody got an assignment.
Yeah.
If
Everybody
everybody
has
has their
an assignment.
assignment, the mission is accomplished.
Zone defense.
Agreed.
That's the whole point of
Come on,
it.
That's
Zone.
it.
Yeah.
Good
I
old
was a
zone.
basketball
Come on, 3-2.
coach. You know. 2-1-2.
2-1-2. Let's get it.
No, but
Courtney's like, what is that?
I have no idea what you're saying. I have no idea what you're saying.
3 out of the 4 knew what was going on right now.
but to expound on what Ty said, like in my current position, when I go to a new place, I don't say, people will be like, well, where do you work? And I just say recreation. I don't say I'm the supervisor of recreation. So then when they see me, they're like, well, you didn't tell me you was the supervisor. I said, you asked me where I work. I work in recreation. That's what I said. That's not important to me. Like, it is what it is. Title, money, any of that stuff, if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, it's never going to be worth it. So,
Right. Agreed.
yeah.
Gotta enjoy where you are most of the day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely.
So, yeah, most of the day. Hope you enjoy it. If you don't,
Man.
got some reevaluating to do.
Whatever.
Just saying. Back to the drawing boards.
That's the drawing board.
Where do you get your information / news from?
we
Social
talked
media, various news outlets, or articles?
Black Twitter.
Black Twitter.
Social media.
sure.
And then the news. I mean, I guess. You know, but they be lying, so.
Social media tells me first, and then I usually end up seeing, like, when I scroll through, like, MSN or whatever, or Google, like, they have the, like, headlines. If I feel curious, I'll click the link and read an article, but I don't actually watch the news.
I watch the news in the morning, because that's how I wake up. I mean, I get up in the crack of dawn in the morning, so I watch the news, see the weather, because I have to. The weather plays a huge part in my day for my occupation.
But they're usually wrong on the weather.
Exactly. Only job where you can be wrong.
They are. I mean,
75% of the time.
like,
keep your job.
it may or may not say. I mean, it may or may not rain at 9:30. It's gonna rain at 9:45. You know what I mean?
And it's a sprinkle, not a downpour.
Like I had to pay attention to the news in the morning. When I'm on my way home, I listen to MSNBC podcasts. So I'm always on the go. I know what's going on. Maybe that's something with age, because when I was younger, I could care less about the news.
No, I'm a news watcher, but it sometimes gets depressing though, because like they always hype up the violence and all of that type of stuff, violence and crime, and the actual stories that you really need to hear about what's happening around you, they kind of glance over them real quick. So I watch the news, but more so for like the weather. I'm in a sport, so sports scores.
Do you think you're desensitized to what's going on?
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah, I think the whole country is at this point. And then in the line of work that I work in, I know I'm thrown off. So like blood, guts, all it, it don't bother me. I'm used to it at this point.
I don't like I don't like the news, but it's like I used to be a journalist major. That was my first major before I went to communications. when your very first assignment is to learn how to write an obituary.
Oh,
shit.
wow.
Very first assignment, day one of journalism. I was like, okay, it's gonna be a sad journey. Let me just go back to the advisor office and switch my
That's tough.
majors. But it's like, no, I mean, news is depressing. They say the root word of news is new, but you tell us every day that there's more crime, there's more death, and all
Right.
the other bad things. So nothing's really new.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons why we're desensitized. And so it's not something that we heavily internalize because it's like, okay, it's expected. We know this is going
gonna keep
on.
happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Me personally, I prefer positively. That's why I flock onto social media. I like to laugh. I'm a comedy person. I like keep my spirits uplifted because I don't like sad stuff. It's like, yes, that's expected. It's everywhere. That's what the news highlight. But
you deal with that enough in real life, so you don't want to see it all
Right.
the time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
It's like when TV shows when we was in the midst of COVID, and TV shows were like in the midst of COVID. I'm like, bro, we want to escape from COVID. Like, y'all don't need to be going through COVID too. We know what it is. We live in it.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Like, come on. But yeah.
It's been nice to sit at the house.
I ain't gonna lie. I club quarantine kept me through.
What?
Shout out to DJ D Nice.
Yes.
Kept my
Versus.
spirits up, kept me dancing during the whole
Versus.
quarantine.
Yeah,
Versus,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
that's when Versus was Versus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Versus, early Versus was funny.
Oh, come
Early
on.
version.
No,
Listen.
the Gucci Mane, Jeezy.
I
Ooh,
watched that
that
one.
one was
I
tense.
watched it because
That
I
one
was
was very
scared. I was
tense.
like, somebody
that
gonna
one
get
was very
shot.
tense.
Somebody,
I was scared watching
somebody
it
gonna
too.
die.
That
Like,
one was
it
very
was
tense.
Ooh, it was
The
rough.
only ones I remember was Jill Scott and Erykah Badu.
I think that was the best one.
Mine. I think
that was
the best one to me was the Brandy and Monica. Because it was like, or either that or The Escape and
Yeah.
SW.
I did
that
enjoy
one was
that
good.
one.
That one was
I'm an
good.
I'm an R&B.
Yeah, I'm an R&B
I'm
head too,
R&B
but I
too,
just
with
it's
that.
something about Brandy.
Her face.
It's just something about her spirit that
It's
don't
Moesha.
mesh with my
like
spirit.
Come on, Moesha.
It's Moesha.
Yeah, no, she don't mesh well with me. It's like she seemed like she is like
She was
throw the rock,
fabricated by
hide your
her
hand
mother.
type person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Sneaky.
just
Like Ray J.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray J and her are like the exact same, except Ray J had a.
Speaking of which, that's a funny ass Versus.
That was-
What?
Ray J was
Y'all
on
niggas
Versus?
is
Ray,
crazy.
it was like Ray J,
Stop
Omarion. Who else?
Mario.
Who actually
Mario
who was
Sammy.
versus each other? Because it was
I
like
don't know,
a
it was
bunch
just a bunch of
It just
them.
became a millennium
It was
tour
just
when
a
everybody
lot.
showed up. So I was like, who was
Listen.
originally the Versus? I couldn't figure that
I
out.
don't even know.
It was like-
Mario, that dude is hilarious.
Listen.
Y'all niggas
Oh, it was
sound
Mario
crazy.
and Omarion, and then they brought
yeah.
like the rest of the Millennium Tour on
Yeah.
stage.
Because Omarion
and
was
then Ray J
getting,
just
was getting
became
crushed.
meme on top of meme on top
Me,
of
and he's still
gosh.
mean. Like, that guy's up. He stays memeing. Is that a word, memeing? That's it.
It is now.
It
It
is.
is now. He stays memeing.
meme.
Okay?
I only saw the two verses, so I saw Erica and Jill, which was amazing, and then the Brandy and Monica, and they took me back, like back, and I was like, ooh, I had all the feels.
But they were like the first ones. It was like, they kind of set up and they were like, oh, I don't want to do that. Let me like challenge this. Because if you
Yeah.
think about it, Jill Scott and Eric, they didn't challenge each other. They were
Right.
just like,
Vibing with each other.
Copacetic,
Yeah.
I'm a dude.
Yeah. Well, I
But
I
after
feel
that,
like
they were
no.
bitch, I'm a dude. Yeah.
I feel like Erica was like, I feel like Erica was doing a little bit of like some jabs in there, but Jill wasn't
She
catching
did
it.
a little
Like Jill
bit,
is like,
a little bit.
She's just all
she
the way
was
positive.
yeah, and so she was like, she wasn't feeding into it. I feel like Erica came in with a little bit of energy, like,
Jill Scott can still get it.
Listen.
Oh,
Y'all
Jill
going-
Scott.
I'll
Jesus.
take
Y'all going
both
to,
of them.
she's coming to
Listen.
town. Y'all going to the concert?
I am going to her concert.
I got the tickets as soon as she made the announcement. I said, yep. I got
Jill
to see Jill.
Scott could always get it
In
from
the
like
building.
day one. Jill Scott could get it.
Not a little fro Jill Scott, long walk around the park after dark.
Can't begin the way head wrap when she knocked on that girl's door. Boy, girl, you been back
The
down
way she
before you
smiled
get
in them
smacked
Tyler
down.
Perry movies. It was
She
like,
cute.
Oh
with the
yeah,
head
yeah,
wrap.
yeah.
Jill, listen, my name is Ty. I'm a Libra.
how you
Tip
know
my
him?
skill. Like, listen.
On the First Wives Club remake, she looked really good.
She is just beautiful.
Really, really good.
She is beautiful.
Well, I mean, she's beautiful. Also,
I mean, she's
her,
beautiful. It's a small.
Energy seems
her
great
energy,
too.
yeah, like
Her energy is so positive. She just, a ray of light.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate her.
And her podcast is dope as hell.
It is.
I love her podcast.
I love her podcast too.
Yeah.
I do.
Podcast.
Y'all better be crushing on Jill.
Love you, Jill. Can't wait to see you.
We going together, Wesley. We going together.
What is your opinion on cancel culture?
That's so whack.
It's
It's
fake.
stupid.
It's very dumb.
It's fake. It doesn't happen for real. They just say it for a week or so, and then the person is back doing whatever they were doing. So
The only one that stayed canceled was Donald Trump.
I don't think he canceled though.
He did because they naturally canceled him. Facebook, Instagram, they canceled him after,
After the fact, though,
After
so
the
it
fact.
wasn't really.
but he was still canceled for a year.
I guess.
Everyone else,
Yeah,
I
Twitter
mean,
canceled him. I was like, ooh,
Yeah, that
Twitter
was
shut you up. I was
shocking.
like,
that was
"Ooh."
shocking.
everyone else didn't get canceled. And besides Chrisette Michelle. I mean,
Yeah, she was the first victim of being canceled.
Man,
Shit.
cancel her Swift. I was like,
What?
damn. I like Chrisette.
I know.
I liked it
got
I mean,
her
maybe,
albums.
maybe, you know, it was an opportunity. She
And I
tried
haven't
to
listened to
eat.
any one
You
of
know, it was a gig. I was like,
I mean, she wasn't making the money like everyone else was. So I was like,
Yeah,
I
that's what I was
understood why she took the assignment,
right.
but she knew that assignment would cancel her, like she was already.
Yeah, because our mom told her. So, I mean, when you
Oh,
got
Mama
that,
warmed up. She still didn't
our
listen.
mom was like,
Everybody
her
was
mom
on
or
Michelle.
something. Yeah.
Everybody.
She didn't listen to Mama?
You listen to Mama? Well,
Oh.
That's
shit.
like Usher, though. He ain't listen to
Chrisette,
Mama. He
that's-
married
you know
Tamika
what?
still. So,
Wow.
He did.
I done lost my mama. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks to TikTok, though. Remember Confessions?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't even about Usher.
Nope, it's about
That's
Jermaine
about Jermaine Dupri.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
This whole time I thought it was
Yeah.
about
You
Usher.
gonna make me get a TikTok.
Listen.
All these fun
Do
facts.
it.
Get a TikTok.
But
Set a timer though. Go ahead, get your timer set.
I'm gonna do that too.
I never knew it was about Jermaine Dupri.
Yep.
I thought it was
Yep.
always about Usher and
Chili.
I said
The
Jermaine and
whole
who?
time.
Yeah, Jermaine. I'm like, who? I'm so confused. This is news to
It's
me.
probably Janet.
Maybe
It
Janet.
had to be Janet. At that time, it had to be Janet.
Wait, did Jermaine Dupri write it or something? I'm confused.
It was his story. Like they wrote it together, but it was actually like what happened with Jermaine Dupri and not what happened with Usher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Didn't I know
It just so happened to coincide because we were
Yeah.
all like, "Oh, he did this at Chili. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Usher."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Usher, an example of
Yeah,
cancel culture
Jermaine,
not
listen
working.
up.
But it's one eyeball.
Well, my opinion on cancel culture is so we now have social media, and you know, you get to see the stupidity of people all day, every day, because people are dumb and put everything on social media. And there are some things where it's like you should just keep that to yourself. Like the world should not know these things about you. And so in that regard, I be like, the discipline of being like, don't do that again.
Right.
I'm for, because you know, something should just, the public should not know these things about you.
Oh. The little Boosie ain't canceled.
For what about why? You keep saying these names, and I'm like,
Listen.
what story? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm sick of him.
This man
I want him
is
to just go somewhere and lay down
he
and go to
is
sleep.
he's a character within himself, and the way he dislikes the LGBTQIA plus, right? You would think he would have already been canceled, but he's not.
But he's so dumb. I think people don't even like take him
him
serious.
serious. They don't take him
Yeah, because he
seriously.
just be saying the most off the wall.
Boosie?
It was
You
That
need to
was
talk?
hilarious.
what
Karma.
made me not laugh, but just say like, listen, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you. When your own daughter said that she was a lesbian, she identifies as lesbian, it's like either you're going to support her or you don't. And he supports her, right? But his way to say that he supports her was like, oh, she's 22, she should know who she is at this point. How do you know that? You don't know that until you're in your own self,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of, and I'm of age, right? So there was a lot of us who, in our teenage years, were battling with how we felt, how we chose to love, how we appreciated the same sex, but knew that we would be outcasts, we would be shunned by our parents, we would be just discriminated against everything. So if you don't know what that feels like, if you don't know how to handle that situation, step the fuck back. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't know. Like, all you're going off is your Southern Baptist, which was a book that was written I don't know how many different times at this point.
Yeah, the most remixes than
And
a Diddy song.
the same scripture you're trying to stand hold on is a scripture about homosexuality, how it was wrong, but really it's about rape.
Right.
It had nothing to do with
exactly.
you know, same sex. It had to do with rape, violence. It had nothing to do with homosexuality. So until you can read the Bible for yourself instead of listening to what your pastor says, what they have said for the past 200 years, it's just not true. And get your own sense. That's why I am very spiritual. I love church. I love gospel music. I will say that's my favorite genre of music until I die. However, I can read for myself. I'm not going to go to a church who's going to stay on the same ideals that their previous pastor spoke about and their previous pastor spoke about. I'm going to read for myself because I am educated. I have the wherewithal to know the difference, and I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to appreciate who I am. I am twin, tie, whatever you want to call me. But I'm never going to step down and discriminate against anyone who chooses to love for love. And that's it.
Can't follow that.
Right? How do femme lesbians make themselves known?
I don't know. How do you femmes do it?
Who's a femme?
I
What's a femme?
don't know.
I'm not a fan of labels, so there's that.
I love women. I goddamn women. So how films
But
can
all
make
the
themselves
femmes hit my
known.
inbox, 20twin.
If she's going to the movies,
On
holla.
Instagram and Facebook.
Right. You
Put
could be
she
the
going
one
to the
getting
movies,
held
that's-
on to
that's
in the
your-
movie theater.
I love a
Be
good
on the waiting
heel.
list if she goes to the movies.
I love a good heel.
So you a lesbian like me.
Oh, listen.
Legs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, in the
Yeah.
springtime,
Okay.
so we about to have the summer dresses. Oh, this is the best time of year. Okay. These
Oh my gosh.
dresses, these onesies. Oh,
The
Lord
shouts.
have mercy.
The shouts.
Lord have
Not
mercy.
shouts.
The shouts.
Shouts.
The
Okay.
shout.
The shouts.
This is the best time of year to be I don't know what this studs. I am a pretty boy. If I had a label, I would be a pretty boy. It is the best time of year. I'm
When it
not
starts
looking
to
away.
warm up a little bit.
I am not looking away.
These eyes
You're
are
going to see
focused.
these eyes. You're going to see these eyes on you. And I will appreciate a summer dress, a good onesie, a nice heel. You got these eyes, baby. And you got that smile to... Listen.
So this
Hear
is
that.
interesting because this question was, I remember having this conversation with a friend a while back. And so this question was posted. It was like, how does a woman who just presents herself, as a woman, let the other people know that she's a lesbian? And I'm like, that's a good question. Like, do we need like hand signs or like wear like a rainbow?
That's sign language.
Like, like,
Yeah,
Eye
you gotta do
contact.
something.
Eye-
Yeah, I
Eye
think
contact.
so. Yeah.
okay, you say that, but then what if the person's like, why is she looking at me?
No,
she
they're
doing?
looking
It's a
at
different
you.
type of- it's a different type of look.
type of
Is
eye
it?
contact.
Yeah, it's a different type of
Oh.
look. Yeah.
Because
That would be
the
a
way
good question
the way
for my
you
friend.
right the way you appreciate a look will be like, okay, I can go speak to this young lady. If not, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah, I'm not doing
she
it.
will
Yeah,
talk
I'm
to
not
me. She
doing
will
it.
come talk
doing
to
it.
me.
Nah.
So
Why
I
is she
mean,
looking at me?
it's like it's just a vibe you get. Like, but that's
Yeah.
with anybody. Like, if you were heterosexual, pansexual, anything, you look at someone, they get that same look back. You can tell, you can feel that. You know what? Let me get them a little smile.
It's the
No.
shift in
Right.
energy. It's
Right.
the energy
It's
shift.
the energy.
Yeah, yeah.
You look when they're not looking. They look at you back when you're not looking. You
That's
feel them
cute.
looking at you. You just
feel
gotta,
love.
like, okay.
I mean,
That's
I'm a light skin a little bit, so I'm a little blush a little bit.
We all blush, not just the light
We
skin.
do all blush. Let me rephrase that. I apologize. We
My
do
blush
all
is
blush.
just a bigger smile. You can't see it, but you could see the cheeks.
That's all I do is smile.
When you see all the teeth.
All the teeth.
All
That's
the
my
teeth.
blush.
That's what I never said. But you're so intimidating. I smile all the freaking time.
Do you?
All the time.
You probably got RPF though.
What's that?
Resting bitch face. You probably got a mean one.
I mean, listen, I don't.
Because I do. Because people be like, I didn't speak to you because you. But I just be focused. Like
I don't people well, so that's
and
a
all I
good
do is laugh
possibility.
all day. So that's what I do.
Good for you is what you are. Well, I want to thank you guys for giving your time today and for sharing your thoughts and opinions on the various topics we discussed. To our listeners, grow your community and take a moment to like, subscribe, and or follow our guests on their respective platforms. If you guys want to tell the people what you're doing, where you're at, if you want them to follow you, now is the time. If you don't want to, that's cool too. Because fuck the internet. Anybody want to do this?
I mean, I have an IG if you want to follow me. West B Chillin without the G.
You gotta spell
88.
Gotta spell that.
WESBE Chillin without the G and then 88. If you want to follow.
Well, I am Twin on both Facebook and Instagram. If I choose to accept you, I do. If I don't take it to heart.
She don't know you.
I don't know you. I don't know you like that. I think I've already expressed I don't people like that. But I hope that in your journey that you find people who will fit what you need, fit your goals, and just live life. That's all I need you to do.
Live life fully and be happy with it.
I guess y'all can follow my fitness page on IG. It is Very Unique Fitness LLC, VERYUNIQUE Fitness LLC. Yeah, hope to see y'all soon.
Hey.
Come on, like, subscribe, and or follow. And we would like to meet you at our next Mocktail Hour that occurs every last Sunday of the month. You can register to save your seat at www.cmhepc.com/register, and hopefully we'll see you there.